color. It makes the difference. Red flowers against green leaves, hues reflected in a crystal clear drop of water. Can't you almost feel the dramatic true shades of nature? Today, color has added new glamour, richness, and depth into our TV viewing. It's the most exciting thing that has happened since man discovered he could send a picture with sound through the air. But let's go back to black and white, to a scene like this. Spring, budding trees and young flowers, very attractive. But now, the same scene is even more beautiful because here are the lovely natural colors, the spirit of spring. Now autumn, leaves turning, wood smoke in the air, a joyful picture in black and white. But suddenly, see them in color, and you see their true tones, the real hues. Call this a snowscape, a pleasant winter picture thoughtfully stated in black and white. But color makes the difference. You can feel the keen, still cold. Yes, color is here, and color TV today is the ultimate of the sales media, combining sight, sound, motion, demonstration, immediacy, and color, which brings to life all the other elements. So how about some practical applications, simple things like what color looks best on TV? What about a good background shade for slides or sets? And what's this about the psychology of color? Ready? Here we go. Rule number In these slides, the darker background in comparison with the lighter tones used on the copy projects the words. This is why lettering is most satisfactory in white and very light tones. Now, notice the red L on this slide. Not very clear, is it? Well, that's because red is the most difficult color to reproduce, and TV artists have found it's best to use a red-orange, a good shade of red to use in small areas. Yellow is another problem color, too. Care should be used because this color can often sift into the green fields. Here's an interesting slide. A number of colors have been used, and notice the colors that stand out the most. And this slide is entirely too rich, the red too vivid, and the blue too intense. Color TV causes some makeup problems, too, and here are some solutions.
More care must be taken because in addition to depth, you've added the dimension of color. The main concern of black and white was to smooth out blemishes, but now you must tone down the reddishness of the lips, nose, cheeks, ears, and neck. We use color makeup to make sure that skin tones are reproduced as naturally as possible. And because of the intensity of the light, many people need makeup to prevent them from looking pale and gray. And there's that red problem again in lipstick for women. Large cosmetic houses have done studies which show that the pinks and orange reds are best. Other obstacles are created by dark pigmentation around the eyes, the grayish tones of a man's 5 o'clock shadow, freckles, and blemishes. These areas can be made up to produce a pleasant, normal flesh tone. We always strive for the natural look.
Layout is another point to remember in TV production. The photography on this slide is excellent, the price positioned properly, but the copy reading Olds F85 is not going to be seen on the viewer's sets because it falls out of the critical area. Again, a colorful slide, but the message for the Army Nurse Corps is hardly visible. Color photography is another area that helps deliver your selling point. I feel as though I could pick these rich red strawberries right out of the screen, taste the juices of this ring bologna, and use my 5-iron on this unsuspecting golf ball. Now let's look at some other slides that show good use of color. You decide which ones suit your individual taste. Here's a striking use of pastels, simple use of color, animated artwork, that blue background again, black background, another black background, and a slide that seems to grow on you. Here's a slide using black and white lettering that does not bleed or run. And speaking of black and white, there are times when it is best to use no color in reproduction, but this depends upon the subject. Don't you agree this slide seems to have more impact in black and white? Generally, though, for commercial use, color is an immeasurable selling point. So, how do you sell the product in color? A fair question. Now the psychology of color comes in, and that calls for the advice of a professional artist. He's the guy who likes room to express himself, and he'll be the one who knows what is best to use in the different situations. The artist is very much aware of the psychology of color and its effect upon the viewer. He knows how important it is to select colors that will produce the desired emotional reaction. Here's where working with color becomes a lot of fun. Take this interesting piece of art sculpture and notice how the various colored backgrounds will affect your feelings for the object. The color here is orange, and the sensation felt is warm and cheerful. Orange's complementary color or shade that makes orange look brighter is blue. Now the feeling is cool and restful. Green is considered to have the most restful effect of any hue. Hospital rooms are often decorated in this color. Green's complementary color is red, and the viewer senses passion, anger, warmth, and gaiety. Yellow is another color that creates pleasure and excitement, and yellow's complementary color is purple, which represents justice, royalty, depression, and suffering. Purple is also used as a church color. So you see, a very definite mood can be produced by color treatment. These colors, which are light and cool, suggest quiet, freshness, and repose. The orange and yellow in this slide suggest warmth. Pleasure, excitement, and exhilaration are created by brightly lighted areas. And depression is aroused more visibly when visibility is low. Mystery and romance are stimulated by a lack of bright colors. The darker colors are more dignified and richer, creating a very definite mood. You'll find, too, that colors also have different appeals to persons of opposite sex. Men, as a rule, prefer darker tones than women. This slide appealing to the men is done in tans and browns. All this points to the psychology of color and its effect upon the viewer. Again, the man behind all this, the professional artist, and he is very much aware of the power of color. Let him show you some examples of his work.
Here, tissue paper for flowers. The flag is torn construction paper. This sports show artwork is a combination of wicker pen and various colored inks, tissue paper and Lectroset lettering applied on acetate with a hot press. Paper cutouts and Lectroset lettering. You'll see very little paint used. Here, wallpaper which matches the set on this particular women's show. Tissue paper flakes mounted on True Tone paper, some flakes sprayed with gold paint. Those are True Tone cutouts on a blue background. An acetate or cell overlay covering an illustration briskly applied with colored marking inks. Double cell overlay in white and black to project lettering. Tissue paper cutouts and paint applied with a sponge. Rectangular paper cutouts and electroset lettering.
You see, there's no limit to the artist's imagination. He may select simple materials foreign to an art studio. They can become bright, colorful designs expressing all moods. Maybe a sequin here and there, fabrics, pastel chalks, doilies, or a toothbrush to flick paint on the surface. The artist has talents to use for you. If your product is food, put color to work and sell for you. Here's a tall, cool glass of limeade. Your colors are the greens and blues, creating the freshness and coolness of the product. You would use similar shades to sell ice cream, fruits, and warm weather products such as air conditioners. Now you want to create an appetite. You're selling beans, the colors red and yellow to create warmth. Use these colors and orange to motivate a hot sale. Another illustration of the power of color involves 3 soap boxes, red, blue, and yellow. A test was made, and the majority of the users of the soap in the red box said the product was too strong, too harsh. Users of the soap in the blue box felt their clothes weren't clean. And when the yellow box of soap was used, most agreed the soap did a great job. But it was just their imaginations. You see, the same soap was in all 3 boxes. This is why companies have to consider color when they package their products, and why you must do the same when advertising on color TV. Now that your client will be advertising in color, you ask if you'll have to change his package label. Well, tell him not to worry. It was once assumed he would have to alter the color of his product label, but after experimenting with color television, it's a rare situation that the same package can't be used. Notice the simplicity of this sponsor's signature. The colors remain the same as the original familiar package. The next question is whether to sell the product live, on film, or videotape. All give excellent color results. This videotaped candy commercial was almost as easy to produce as black and white taping, and KSTP's charges remain the same. Keep in mind, too, that TV station technicians have learned to handle color videotape so well that it has become an essential part of many color productions. Color film, and this is a videotape of the film, is expensive and requires elaborate processing, but it is especially suitable for on-location shooting, animation, and color news shows. This Pepsi film was shot outdoors, and you can see why film was the best choice here.
Come alive, you're in the Pepsi generation.
Who's got the best-natured taste on this whole thirsty earth? Pepsi, that's who. Regular Pepsi-Cola with a taste that's clean and alive. And Diet Pepsi-Cola, same honest-to-Pepsi taste for less than a calorie. Pepsi-Cola, either way, the one that really wants to be where you are, wherever you are.
Come alive, you're in the Pepsi generation.
If you're interested in color filming, you'll find a few stations in the country, such as KSTP, that have their own color processing equipment for film and slides. Usually, this work is left to companies specializing in this area, as most TV stations are more concerned with speed for their color news film coverage. However, through the mechanics of this station's elaborate processing machine, the developing time has been decreased and the quality increased. And here it is on film, immediacy and impact. Here, fire film shot for a news show, and the lively orange-red flames best illustrate the station's choice for color film. And live television is even more exciting in color. As with film and tape, there's that extra thrill of seeing your stars and products in color. The cameras, though, are somewhat more difficult to reposition in a hurry than the black and white cameras. For a straight-through or one-take commercial, fewer shots and less movement often produce a better result. Now get the picture? In color? See why color increases the attentiveness of the commercial and raises the rating of the program? No other advantage is sacrificed when advertisers choose color TV, because the program or commercial will also reach the audience viewing it in black and white. It's also a known fact, color viewers are a top quality audience. Their buying power is among the highest in the nation. Surveys show that color set owners and families are a more attentive, interested, and loyal audience. They make greater use of their sets and stay with the color program longer, which prompts them to frequently have guests in to watch the shows. So we might say the most important salesman for color today is probably the set owner himself. Ah, color. It adds new glamour, excitement, and realism. And today there is more color, truer color, more colorful color than you've ever seen before. And why shouldn't your TV world be colorful and alive too? Switch to color now, and you'll wonder why you waited.